Hi everyone and welcome to Movie Review 2023, and we're looking at the top movies from Nollywood. Nollywood is the equivalent of Hollywood in Nigeria, and so we have a lot of reviews based on the Nollywood movies. So we're going to be looking at some of the movies, and today's own is on. Before I continue, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. That will really encourage us to do more for you. Today's own is on The Black Book. The Black Book came out last year and it was just fantastic. I mean, there was a lot of positive reviews from The Black Book. People said it was just mind-blowing, and to me, I would agree to a certain extent that The Black Book just set a pace, especially when it has to do with the sound design. The sound design was amazing. Listening to it was like listening to a movie, a Hollywood movie, and it was so mind-blowing. And so to us, that was the first time for a lot of people, and for Movie Review, that was the first time I think we did it so well in terms of the sound design. It followed the emotions, it followed the storyline. It wasn't sluggish, it wasn't out of place, and most importantly, it had a lot of depth in it. The sound had depth. The music, the soundtrack, even the vocals, the audio had a lot of depth concerning the Black Book. So we see this, that it just sort of set everything to a different level. It just gave Nollywood a different perspective and really set the standard for sound design in Nollywood movies. Now you ask, what's the story about? It's basically a story about Damilola Edima, who fell prey to jungle justice. Somewhere along the line, they wanted to switch somebody for someone else, and in the end, he was killed. So we're looking at the father coming to sort of find out the truth and justify his son. And most importantly, there was something that linked that criminal activity, which the father had to pursue, and the end he got. So it's a storyline that is a killer any day. A lot of people want to watch stories like this. We see actors like Liam Neeson, Keanu Reeves, Sylvester Stallone do this sort of stories that really appeals to the heart, to people. You know, you go and get what you need to get. Coming out of retirement at a certain age, and then he decides to just go and do something for the people or do something for his family. So we see this sort of storyline that made a lot of sense. There was no need reinventing the wheel, so they followed the same pattern. And I would say RMD did a great job in the storyline itself. He played the part well. He was able to do that switch from being a pastor somewhere, and then all of a sudden he's a superhero. That was just commendable. That was really, really commendable. Great job, RMD. And the fact that people probably ask, we should have seen more of action coming from RMD. But the question is, looking at the age, not just his age in real life, I don't know about his age in real life, but his age in the movie, he can't do much, but he was able to do the little he could do action-wise. I think he did a great job. Yes, we noticed a few places where it was obvious that there was a double. The double was not well put together. I think that when he hung onto a truck and he was being driven away, that didn't show his face, so everybody just kind of knew that RMD was able to do this kind of thing. Now I won't kill person, but apart from that, RMD did a great job in the movie. His audio, his speeching was just fantastic. It's actually a great movie put together by a great crew and cast. One of the things that really shocked me was the number of people or manpower in putting together the film. The end credits were really long, filled with people, filled with a lot of resources, which you don't see a lot in Nigerian films. I was actually counting the number of people, and I kind of like, we're getting close to 200 people on this project, if not more than that. So it's something that is really commendable. Well, I heard some sources tell me that the movie cost around $1 million. So $1 million, I would say that it got up to $1 million. Looking at the sound design, looking at the picture, the technical delivery, it must have been close to $1 million. And so for that length of people that works on the project, it's commendable. I've done a couple of movies myself, low budget films, and I will say that this movie has set the pace in filmmaking in Nigeria. I had the budget is close to $1 million, like I mentioned earlier, and I will say it's really it's justified to look at the budget itself. But the question we all ask is, did it show? Did that $1 million show in the movie? I think it was close to the technical delivery of the film. The pictures were fantastic, although I needed to see more of aerial shots. Yes, I needed to see more of the aerial shot, long shots. I've always criticized Nigerian movies for doing a lot of medium shots and close-up shots, and people sitting down and talking as against movements being motion, motion itself. So this film, I kind of expected more of the motion apart from the action itself. I actually looked forward to seeing more of the motion sort of effects in the Black Book. But apart from that, the action scene that had a lot of motion in it was fantastic. The locations were absolutely amazing. The various locations, especially the ones shot in the north, it showed it was the north. It showed the sandy areas, the desert area. It just depicted the storyline the way it ought to be. Now, speaking of the storyline, like I mentioned earlier, it's just great. It's a great storyline that will sell any day. The cast were perfect, and the props and costumes were just okay. The camera angles, like I mentioned, I wasn't too sure about the process of what happened at the beach. That beach scene where they called him to tell him about his dead son. That process, I wasn't too sure about it. But later on, when I saw what happened afterwards, I was like, okay, this makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Looking at movies like Living in Bondage, that was just one of the things that has to set the industry on a different course altogether. The camera angles were fantastic. The picture quality was fantastic. And now, when you look at the movies lately, the 3 movies that came up, including Living in Bondage, we're looking at a shift from just talking about romance and relationships and partying and having a great time into social problems, into social issues, justice, and the inspiring movies that want to take people to the next level. This is what we're seeing in Nollywood right now. Nollywood is looking at how to inspire people, is looking at the societal problems people are facing. So the movies that depicting this are speaking out about what's going on in the society, and most importantly are giving us a solution from the positive point of view. So the movies have kind of shifted from what we saw early last year, 2021, 2022, which had a lot of partying, which had a lot of relationship and funny and comedy and all that, to more serious themes 2023. Making movies in Nollywood has seen great stages in production, looking at the technical and human delivery. Nollywood movies are going places internationally. Well, 2023 was a great year of movies indeed. We had our ups and downs during the time of COVID-19, 2019, 2020. The movie industry went straight down. But now, 2023, I think, was just a turning point for Nigerian movies. Why do I say so? Because we can now see that the sort of standard has been set. And so, for movies that came out late last year, 2023, it was just fantastic. It put us in a different limelight regarding Nigeria, the kind of production, the kind of delivery. We needed to follow a certain standard, and I think that has set the pace for a lot of movie makers right now in Nollywood. Looking at movies like A Tribe Called Judah, Breath of Life, looking at the Black Book, these are movies that just sort of put everything from a different perspective. So 2023 was a turning year for Nigerian movies. Do I expect to see a sequel to the Black Book? Yes, I think there should be a sequel to the Black Book. There should be other things that will pop up in the story that were not really concluded. So I look forward to the sequel of the Black Book. So we're going to have the Black Book 2, boom, coming up soon, I guess.